The phone rang, and I knew before I answered that my family needed another $50,000. I'm Jenna Collins, 28, and for years, my six-figure salary in Boston was nothing more than a patch on my family's sinking ship. I thought I was saving my grandfather's legacy, a beautiful antique gallery he built with his own hands. I was wrong. I wasn't bailing water. I was funding a lie that would cost me everything I had, and everyone I thought I loved. This is how I discovered the truth. Before I share the rest of my story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because if you have ever sacrificed everything for your family, trust me, you are going to want to see what happens when the responsible one finally fights back. The phone vibrates on my glass desk, its buzz slicing through the hum of my Boston office. I'm mid-spreadsheet, numbers dancing under my fingers when I see the caller ID, Dad. My stomach clenches. It's always the same, a crisis wrapped in his smooth, entitled drawl. I glance at the clock, 2:47 p.m., and sigh. The office is a sleek bubble of glass and steel, my colleagues' voices a soft murmur beyond my door. I'm Jenna Collins, 28, the financial analyst who's always in control, except when it comes to them. I pick up. Jenna, sweetheart, Dad starts, his voice a practiced mix of urgency and charm. We're in a bind at the gallery, a rare collection, 18th century maritime artifacts, could put us back on the map. But we need cash, fast, 50 grand should do it. In the background I hear Leo, my older brother, laughing, probably at some half-baked deal he almost closed. Mom's voice chimes in, praising him like he's the second coming of Picasso. I pinch the bridge of my nose. Collins Curios and Antiques. Our family's gallery in Bar Harbor is my grandfather's legacy, a quaint, wood-paneled shrine to history. He built it with his hands, his heart. Now it's a sinking ship, and I'm the one bailing water. I want to say no. I want to scream that I've already wired them $30,000 this year, that my savings are bleeding dry. But I see Grandpa's face in my mind, his calloused hands polishing a brass sextant, his gray eyes warm with lessons about integrity. Value isn't just in the object, Jenna, he'd say. It's in what you stand for. He's gone now, 5 years buried, and I'm the only one holding his dream together. Okay, I mutter, I'll send it. Dad's relief is instant. Syrupy. You're a lifesaver, kiddo. I hang up, my chest tight, and wire the money from my phone, another patch on a rotting hull. That night, in my Back Bay apartment, I pour a glass of wine and stare out at the city lights. Boston is alive, pulsing, but I feel like a ghost. My colleagues respect me, Jenna, the sharp one, the reliable one, but they don't know the weight I carry. The gallery isn't just a business, it's a chain. I'm tethered to it, to them, because I'm the responsible one. The one who fixes things. I sip my wine, the bitterness lingering. I don't sleep well. The next morning I'm back at my desk, crunching numbers for a client, when my assistant drops off a package. It's small, wrapped in brown paper, postmarked from Bar Harbor. Mom's handwriting. I slice it open, expecting another gilt-laced thank you note. Instead I find Grandpa's brass maritime compass, heavy and cool in my hands. A slip of paper reads, "So you never lose your way back to us. We love you." My throat tightens. It's beautiful, but it feels like a consolation prize for the $50,000 I just bled. I set it on my desk, its needle quivering north, and try to focus. But something about it, its weight, its coldness, gnaws at me. It's not just a gift, it's a hook. A week later I'm still staring at that compass. It sits on my coffee table, glinting under the lamplight in my apartment. I should be working, deadlines loom, but I can't shake the feeling that it's watching me. I pick it up, turning it over, tracing the worn engravings. Grandpa loved this thing, said it guided sailors through storms. I polish it absent-mindedly, the cloth catching on a faint seam along the base. I freeze. A seam? That's not right. My analyst brain kicks in, the part that spots discrepancies in balance sheets. I grab a butter knife, wedge it gently, and pry. The base pops open with a soft click. Inside, there's no old photo or sentimental trinket. Instead, I find a tiny tarnished skeleton key in a folded scrap of paper. My hands shake as I unfold it. Grandpa's handwriting unmistakable. Portland Trust, Box 713. 3 words sharp as a blade. My heart pounds. This isn't a gift. It's a message. I sit back, the room suddenly too small, the city too loud. What was he trying to tell me? I barely sleep that night, the key burning a hole in my thoughts. By morning, I'm calling in sick. something I never do, and driving to Portland. The 2-hour trip is a blur of coastal highways and my own racing pulse. Portland Trust is an old stone building, its lobby smelling of wax and history. I clutch the key, my palms sweaty, and approach the counter. The clerk, a woman with a tight bun, eyes me skeptically but leads me to the safe deposit vault. I slide the key into box 713, my breath catching as it turns. The box is heavy cold. Inside, no jewels, no cash, just 2 ledgers and a sealed envelope. I sit in a private booth, the ledgers open before me. The first is familiar, the gallery's finances always teetering on the edge, just as Dad describes. The second, though, is a stranger. Pages of neat entries, cross-referenced, showing profits, big ones, funneled into an account I've never heard of. My stomach churns. This isn't a mistake. It's a secret. I tear open the envelope. Grandpa's letter is short, his words like a fist to my chest. He writes of my parents' gambling debts, their creative accounting, their hunger for a lifestyle they couldn't sustain. He'd hoped they'd change, but he left this for me, his fail sol failaf. They love you, Jenna, he writes, but they love the illusion of their lifestyle more. Trust the numbers, not the sentiment. I read it twice, my vision blurring. All those years, all that money I sent, it wasn't saving the gallery. It was fueling their lie. I'm not just hurt, I'm humiliated. I trusted them, and they played me. I shove the ledgers and letter back into the box, my hands trembling, and walk out into the gray Maine drizzle, feeling like the ground's been ripped out from under me. I drive to Bar Harbor that same day, the ledgers and letter in my passenger seat like ticking bombs. The coastal road is familiar, but today it feels alien, the pines and rocky cliffs mocking my unraveling world. I'm not the calm, collected Jenna anymore. I'm a mess of nerves, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. I don't stop at the gallery's front entrance with its quaint sign and polished windows. I park in the back alley where deliveries come, and let myself in with my key. The office smells of old wood and Mom's lavender perfume. They're all there, Dad at the desk, Mom arranging a display, Leo sketching something useless in the corner. They look up, surprised, and I feel like an intruder in my own family's world. I don't say a word. I set the ledgers on the desk, one open to the secret account's damning numbers. Dad's face pales. Mom's smile freezes. Leo stops sketching. Explain, I say, my voice low, steady, but sharp enough to cut. Dad stammers, his charm crumbling. Jenna, sweetheart, this is a misunderstanding, I cut him off. The numbers don't lie. Mom's eyes narrow and Leo shifts, uneasy. They don't confess. Instead, they attack. Dad's voice turns soft, wounded. How could you spy on your own family? Mom's is venomous. You ungrateful viper, after everything we've done for you. Leo, always the artist, sneers. You're just jealous you don't have the soul for this business. I stand there, stunned, as their words hit like shrapnel. I expected excuses, maybe guilt. Not this. Not betrayal turned into blame. Mom steps closer, her face twisted. Get out, she hisses. If you can't support this family, you're no longer part of it. Never come back. Dad and Leo say nothing, their silence louder than her scream. I don't argue. I don't cry. I walk out, the door slamming behind me, the sound echoing in my bones. Outside, the sea air is cold, the waves crashing against Bar Harbor's cliffs. I'm alone, cast out not for a mistake but for seeing the truth. My family, my anchor, my burden has cut me loose. I drive back to Boston in a daze, the ledgers in the trunk, Grandpa's letter in my pocket. His words loop in my head. Trust the numbers, not the sentiment. I'm not just hurt, I'm hollow. The people I loved, the legacy I bled for, were a mirage. I'm the black sheep now, exiled for daring to question. Back in my apartment, I sit in the dark, the compass on the table, its needle steady. I'm lost, but it's pointing somewhere. I just don't know where yet. The drive back to Boston is a fog, the highway lights blurring into streaks. My hands grip the wheel, but my mind is back in Bar Harbor, replaying Mom's scream, "Get out! Never come back!" Dad's silence, Leo's sneer, they sting worse than her words. I'm not just cast out, I'm erased. The ledgers sit in my trunk, heavy as guilt, and Grandpa's letter burns in my pocket. I'm 28, successful, respected, but right now I'm a kid again, desperate for my family to see me. They didn't. They saw a bank account, a fix for their lies. I pull into my apartment garage after midnight, the city quiet, my heart louder. I don't sleep. The next morning, I drag myself to work. My office, usually a sanctuary of numbers and control, feels like a cage. My colleagues notice my red eyes, my clipped answers, but they don't ask. I'm Jenna, the reliable one, and reliable people don't crack. I try to focus on spreadsheets, but my thoughts spiral. I've wired them over $200,000 in 5 years. My savings, my bonuses, my life, thinking I was saving Grandpa's legacy. Instead, I was propping up their fraud. The betrayal isn't just financial, it's personal. They didn't just take my money, they took my trust. I blocked their numbers that afternoon. It's not anger, it's survival. My phone, once a lifeline to Bar Harbor, stays silent. I feel lighter but also unmoored, like a boat cut from its anchor. Days pass in a haze. I work late, avoid my apartment, avoid mirrors. I don't want to see the woman who let herself be played. My friends, Sarah from college, Mark from the office, text to check in, but I dodge them. I'm too raw, too ashamed. I'm alone, not just because they banished me, but because I'm hiding from everyone else. A month later, a letter arrives, not from mom or dad, but from their lawyer. It's formal, cold, accusing me of defamation and causing emotional and financial distress. They're threatening to sue. My first reaction is a laugh, sharp, bitter. They're the ones with secret accounts, and I'm the villain? Then I see the second envelope, forwarded from my old address. It's an auction catalog from a New York gallery, glossy and smug. I flip through it, expecting nothing, until I stop cold. There, in full color, is Grandpa's favorite impressionist painting, a soft, glowing seascape he swore he'd never sell. The catalog says it's from a private New England collection. My blood runs cold. 5 years ago, they claimed it was destroyed in a gallery fire. They cashed an insurance check for $300,000. I know because I helped file the claim. This isn't just deceit, it's criminal. The catalog hits the table with a thud. I'm in my apartment, the city lights flickering outside, but all I see is that painting. It's not just a betrayal, it's a taunt. They didn't just lie to me, they built a whole empire of fraud, and I funded it. For the first time in weeks, the fog of hurt clears, replaced by something sharp, cold. Clarity. I'm done being their victim. I grab my laptop and start digging. Bank records, wire transfers, emails I sent Dad about the gallery's crises. Every dollar I sent, every plea they made, it's all there. I'm a financial analyst. Numbers are my weapon. And I'm going to use them. I don't sleep that night. Instead, I draft a document, cold and precise, an invoice for investment capital and unsolicited financial consultation services, with interest compounded over 5 years. It totals $247,000. It's not about the money, it's about making them see. I call Sarah, my old college friend who's now a lawyer. She's quiet as I spill everything, the ledgers, the letter, the painting. Jenna, she says, you need someone tougher than me. I know a guy. She gives me the name of Ethan Caldwell, a Boston attorney known for shredding art fraud cases. I meet him the next day. He's all sharp suits and sharper eyes, and when I show him the ledgers and Grandpa's letter, he doesn't blink. This is a slam dunk, he says. But it's going to hurt. Hurt is an understatement. Building the case feels like dissecting my family. I photocopy the ledgers, annotate my bank records, draft an affidavit about the safe deposit box. I track down the insurance claim for the destroyed painting, cross-referencing it with the auction catalog. Every step is a knife twist, but I keep going. I'm not just fighting for me, I'm fighting for Grandpa, for the legacy he trusted me to protect. By the weekend, I have a case file thick enough to bury them. Ethan nods, impressed. You're not just a client, he says, you're a damn strategist. The lawsuit threat from their lawyer sits on my desk, unanswered. I'm not afraid anymore. I feel something new, resolve, like a fire low in my gut. I'm not the black sheep, I'm the one who sees clearly. But there's a cost. My apartment feels emptier, my nights lonelier. I've cut myself off from everyone but Sarah and Ethan, and even they can't reach the part of me that's grieving. I keep the compass on my desk, its needle steady. It's not pointing to Bar Harbor anymore. It's pointing to me. Ethan's office is a fortress of glass and steel, high above Boston's skyline. I sit across from him, the case file between us as we wait for my family. I requested this family meeting through Ethan, knowing they'd come expecting me to beg. I'm not begging. I'm done. The door opens and there they are. Mom in her perfect scarf, Dad with his salesman smile, Leo slouching like he's above it all. They see me, and their faces shift from smug to wary. I don't smile. I don't speak. Ethan takes over. He lays out the evidence like a surgeon: wire fraud, insurance fraud, embezzlement. He shows them the ledgers, my bank records, the insurance claim against the auction catalog. You have two options, he says, his voice ice. Sign over the gallery and all legitimate assets to an LLC controlled by Jenna, effective immediately. Or I walk this file to the FBI and IRS this afternoon. He slides a contract across the table. The room is silent, the air heavy. Mom explodes first. You're a monster, Jenna, she screams, her face red. How dare you threaten your own family? Dad tries his charm, leaning forward, voice soft. Sweetheart, let's talk about this. We're family. Leo laughs, but it's nervous, his eyes darting to Ethan. You're bluffing, he says. Ethan doesn't blink. Federal sentencing for wire fraud starts at 7 years, he says. Add insurance fraud, and you're looking at a decade minimum. Leo's face drains of color. I sit still, my hands folded, watching them unravel. Mom's screams turn to sobs. Dad's charm fades to a slump. Leo, for once, has nothing to say. They sign the contract, their hands shaking. I don't feel triumph, just a hollow ache. This isn't victory, it's amputation. I walk out without a word, the compass in my pocket, its weight grounding me. I'm not free yet, but I'm closer. The gallery is mine now, or what's left of it. I don't know what comes next, but I know I'm done carrying their lies. The Boston skyline glitters outside Ethan's office, but inside, it's a battlefield. I sit at the polished conference table, the case file in front of me, a silent accusation. My family walks in, Mom with her chin high, Dad with his practiced smile, Leo trailing like he's already bored. They think I'm here to grovel, to beg for their forgiveness after their lawyer's lawsuit threat. They're wrong. I'm done playing their game. Ethan, in his tailored suit, stands beside me, his presence a shield. I don't speak. I don't need to. This is my territory now. Ethan starts, his voice calm but razor sharp. Let's be clear, he says, sliding the case file forward. Wire fraud, insurance fraud, embezzlement. He opens the file, revealing the ledgers, my bank records, the insurance claim for the destroyed Impressionist painting now up for auction. You've been siphoning profits into a hidden account for years, using Jenna's money to fund it. Mom gasps, theatrical. Dad's smile falters. Leo shifts in his seat. Ethan doesn't pause. You have two choices. Sign over Collins Curios and Antiques and all legitimate assets to an LLC controlled by Jenna, effective immediately, or I deliver this file to the FBI and IRS by 3 p.m. today. The room goes still. Mom's face twists. You're a monster, Jenna, she screams, slamming her hand on the table. How dare you threaten your own family? Dad leans forward, his voice soft, pleading. Sweetheart, we can work this out. We're family. Leo tries to laugh, but it's hollow. You're bluffing, he says, eyes darting to Ethan. Ethan leans back, unfazed. Federal sentencing for wire fraud starts at 7 years, he says. Add insurance fraud and you're looking at 10, maybe more. The IRS doesn't play nice with hidden accounts either. Leo's smirk vanishes. For the first time he looks scared. I sit there, hands folded, watching them unravel. Mom's screams turn to sobs, her scarf slipping as she clutches Dad's arm. Dad's charm crumbles, he stares at the contract. Ethan slides across the table, his hands trembling. Leo's eyes flick between us, searching for an out. There isn't one. They sign one by one in stunned silence. Mom's pen scratches like a wound. Dad's signature is shaky. Leo's is a scrawl, like he's still pretending he's above it. I don't feel joy or triumph, just a hollow ache, like I've cut off a limb to save myself. Ethan collects the papers, nods at me. I stand, the compass heavy in my pocket, and walk out without a word. The elevator ride down is quiet, but my heart is loud. I've won, but it doesn't feel like winning, it feels like survival. Outside, Boston is alive, cars honking, people rushing, but I'm a ghost in the crowd. The gallery is mine now, or what's left of it. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I know one thing. I'm done carrying their lies. The compass points north, and for the first time, I'm starting to see where it's leading. 6 months later, I'm standing on the cliffs of Acadia National Park, the Atlantic stretching out below me, endless and wild. The sunrise paints the sky pink and gold, the air sharp with salt. I hold Grandpa's compass, its brass warm from my hand, its needle steady. I'm alone, but not lonely. Not anymore. The past half year has been a reckoning, a rebuilding, and I'm still finding my footing. But I'm here. After the confrontation, I liquidated the gallery. It wasn't easy. Every antique I sold, a sextant, a ship's log, a weathered map, felt like letting go of Grandpa. But keeping it alive as a lie would have been worse. The proceeds, plus the money recovered from stopping the auction of that fraudulent painting, went into something new: the Collins Grandfather Grant. It's a foundation to fund young Maine artists, the ones who remind me of Grandpa's passion for creation, not deception. I kept the skeleton key as a paperweight on my desk, a reminder of the truth I uncovered. The compass, though, I carry. It's not just an object. It's my guide. The aftermath wasn't clean. Mom tried calling once, leaving a tearful voicemail I deleted without listening. Dad sent a letter, half apology, half excuse, which I burned. Leo vanished, probably chasing another big deal somewhere else. Their lawyer dropped the lawsuit threat the day Ethan sent a copy of the case file to their office. I don't hate them, but I don't miss them either. They were an illusion I funded, a family I built in my head. The real family is the one I'm making now: Sarah, who showed up with pizza and wine when I was at my lowest; Mark, who dragged me to a Red Sox game to laugh again; Ethan, who checks in not as my lawyer but as a friend; and me. I'm learning to be my own family. I'm not healed, not fully. There are nights when the betrayal stings, when I wonder if I could have saved them instead of myself. But then I look at the compass, at its unwavering needle, and I know. It wasn't pointing to Bar Harbor. It was pointing to me, to my own true north. I'm free now, not from pain, but from their chains. The future is open, a horizon I can choose. I close the compass, slip it into my pocket, and walk back to my car. The cliffs are behind me, the sunrise ahead. I'm ready to see where this road goes. My story isn't just about money, it's about the currency of trust. My family spent mine until I was emotionally bankrupt. If you find yourself constantly rescuing people who never seem to learn, I urge you to look closer. Trust the numbers, not just the sentiment. The most painful truths are often the ones buried under years of love and obligation. Don't be afraid to pick up that shovel and dig. What you uncover might be the map to your own freedom.